If you ain't tracking, you are slacking, period. The fastest way to lose weight is simple. Measure what matters, because what gets measured gets improved. So in today's video, I'm going to give you the exact tools that every successful client uses to drop 30 to 50 pounds predictably, repeatably, and without guessing. So I have coached hundreds of busy men who felt stuck for years. But once they started tracking the right things, not everything, but just the right things, their bodies started to transform in just months. Now, this is the same system that I use today personally to stay lean year round effortlessly. Now, by the end of this video, you know exactly what tools you need and what to track daily to guarantee progress. And then also what tools you probably don't need, because I see a lot of people waste money on all these weird fitness, weight loss gadgets that are just a complete waste of money. There's only a select handful of tools that you need. And I have personally used a lot of trial and error. I've used every single tool that you could think of. I've gotten rid of most of them and I've kept a select few, because the select few are the ones that I use personally every single day that allows me to live this healthy, active, energetic, fat loss lifestyle and just keep the fat off for good and maintain six-pack abs year round. Now, by the end of this video, you know exactly what tools you need and what to track to guarantee progress, even if your life is chaotic. And we're going to break this down into 3 separate parts. So the first part is going to be why tracking works. So we're going to talk about the science and the psychology behind it. Number 2 is the exact tools you need. And then lastly, how to track without obsessing or burning out, because there is this fine line between being very, very neurotic and meticulous with this versus on the other end of the extreme of like not tracking altogether. Like we don't want to be on either extreme. We want to be in that middle ground, because if you're too obsessive over tracking every last little grain of rice or over tracking every single sleeping metric or your breathing technique, then it just becomes too much of a hindrance and it starts to like take away from your life. And one of the things I always tell my clients is that we don't want fitness to take over our lives. We want it to enhance our lives, right? In the most easiest way possible. So let's dive in, starting with section number 1, which is why tracking actually works, the science and the psychology behind it. So most of you think that you struggle with weight loss because you don't have any discipline or you don't have any willpower. But the truth is, you're simply guessing your way through the process. You're guessing your way to lose the weight. And you cannot improve what you don't measure. As simple as that. And so I have 3 studies that I want to highlight with you guys. So one of the studies, a 2015 study from the University of Cornell, found that people who weighed themselves daily lost significantly more weight than those who didn't weigh themselves daily, simply because the daily feedback helped them adjust their behavior. The second study, research from Kaiser Permanente, found that people who tracked food consistently lost twice as much weight as those who didn't. Not because tracking food magically makes you burn more calories, it's because awareness changes behavior. Once you're aware of what you're eating, how much you're eating, it'll subconsciously change your behavior, whether you think about it or not. Like if I were to tell you right now, hey, Jonathan, you are eating 4,000 calories and you're aware of that, and you're like, oh crap, 4,000 calories, that's quite a bit. I'm not really happy with the way I look and I do want to lose weight. You're subconsciously just going to make better food choices because you're simply aware. Instead of adding that extra bit of drizzle of olive oil into your meal, you may skip out on that. Instead of having that extra handful of chips, you may not have that. Instead of having that sugary Starbucks drink, you may just substitute the sugary drink for maybe a less sugary drink. Just like those small little adjustments you'll start to make by simply being more aware. And lastly, the public health research shows that self-monitoring, so tracking steps, calories, and workouts, is one of the strongest predictors of long-term weight loss success. So in simple terms, when you track, you stay accountable. And when you don't, you drift. Every single one of our successful clients inside of the program, they track. They don't track everything, but they track the things that actually matter and move the needle forward. Every successful entrepreneur, Every successful business person, every successful whoever you want to look at, they track data, they measure progress, because if they don't, you're just leaving things by chance. And I don't know about you, but I would so much rather take actions, daily actions that I know are going to move the needle forward, as opposed to taking actions that I don't know if this is going to work out or not. I'm just winging it. It may work, it may not. I may waste a bunch of my time and effort and money on this. I may not. Why would you want to go through life living like that? I mean, I sure as heck don't. I want to make sure that with every single thing that I do, it's either going to get me closer towards my goals or it's not. And if it's not, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be doing less of that and do more of the things that actually move the needle forward. But I would never know what to do or what not to do if I never measure my progress. So once again, if you ain't tracking, you, my friend, are slacking. What gets measured gets improved. Let's move on to section number 2, the tools for a successful weight loss journey. Now, these are the tools every one of my clients uses inside of the Barbarian squad because they actually work. Not because they're some fitness gimmick, not because they're the latest and newest trend. It's because they're honestly the oldest ones, but they're actually the ones that actually work the most. Starting with number 1, a body weight scale. Now, no, not to obsess over your daily fluctuations, but to track your weekly trends. Your weight will inevitably go up and down every single day. It is normal. It is part of living life and being a human being. It could be due to what time you ate your last meal, how much water you drank, how much salt you had, what time you ate your last meal, what time you went to bed. Like, depending on when I wake up, it could be, I mean, it's not a huge difference, but I would say 1 or 2 pound difference depending on when I weigh myself. Like, I weighed myself this morning at 6 a.m. when typically I weigh myself at 7 a.m. and I was a pound heavier. Now, could that be due to a different reason? Sure. But it could also be due to me just waking up an hour earlier and the food maybe hasn't fully digested yet from the night prior. Or maybe I haven't gone to the bathroom yet. Maybe I'm slightly more constipated. Maybe I haven't gone pee yet. Like, so many different factors can come into play, especially if you're a female. You may go through your time of the month, hormonal changes. So much comes into play. And so that is why we don't want to stress over the day-to-day fluctuations, but more so we want to be concerned over the weekly and, more importantly, the monthly fluctuations, because what matters is the overall trend across 7 to 14 days. Now, your skill is just like your business P&L. You don't judge one bad day, you look at the trend. So if you notice after weighing yourself daily for the next week and for the next month, you should see a trend line. Is it going downwards? Is it maintaining? Is it going upwards? And then based on that, you can make better adjustments. Now you're better aware. It's like, okay, based on my current lifestyle, based on my food, based on everything that I'm currently doing, the trend on the weight is sloping upwards, or it's maintaining, or it's going downwards. Just by knowing this gives you so much power, because now by looking at the trend and then by looking at the other things that I'm going to touch on that you're also going to be measuring using the weight loss tools I'm going to discuss later on, you're in control. You are in charge now. You can make the decision, not by chance, not by luck, but by data, by numbers, because you can back up everything you do now. Someone could ask you on the street, it's like, hey, dude, like, why'd you change your calories? Like, what the heck, man? Or like, hey, dude, like, why'd you make this change? Why'd you do that? Oh, well, because I have all of this data to look back on to suggest that I should probably be making this change. For example, if you weigh yourself daily and you look at the monthly fluctuations or the monthly trend and you just notice it going up, you are very well informed now that, okay, what I'm currently doing, it's clearly making me gain weight. And if I want to stop gaining weight, I should likely make some other changes, likely to my diet or to my daily activity. Therefore, I will be eating less and or moving more. As simple as that. But you will not have come to that conclusion if you do not weigh yourself. If you have no idea how much you weigh, if you have no idea what your current trajectory is going towards, how are you going to be making an informed decision? You simply cannot. You cannot. And so whoever tells you that you should not weigh yourself, don't listen to them. Absolute moronic. you should weigh yourself if you care about your weight. Now, if you don't care about your weight, then don't weigh yourself. But then why are you watching this video? Moving on to tool number 2, a food scale. Now, here's the thing, not just any food scale, a digital food scale. Because those old-fashioned food scales, even those measuring spoons, those measuring cups that your grandma uses for baking, throw those out the window. You do not need those. They are very inaccurate because you can very well pack in a whole lot of rice or a whole lot of anything you want into that small little cup. And you can turn that half a cup into, quite honestly, a full cup, especially when it comes to maybe a tablespoon of peanut butter. You can jam pack a whole lot of peanut butter into 1 tablespoon. But the digital food scale does not lie, because 15 grams is 15 grams. No matter how much you try to jam pack it in, the digital food scale does not lie. Now, this is the number 1 tool that separates people who think during a calorie deficit from the people who actually are in a calorie deficit. Because going back to the peanut butter analogy, a tablespoon of peanut butter can either be 90 calories or 500 calories, depending on the person who scoops it. Accuracy matters here. If you ain't tracking, you are slacking. Same thing with the liquids or any other food you eat. You have to keep track of it, because if you're just eyeballing things, you're just guessing things, and you're not losing weight, you're probably not tracking things accurately. Now, this is the cheapest, most affordable, yet the best investment that you could possibly make on your weight loss journey. I got my digital food scale in 2015, literally a decade ago, 10 years ago, and I still have it to this day. It's portable, it's small, it's travel friendly. I bring it with me whenever I go to visit a friend and I stay over, or whenever I go on vacation, whenever I travel and I'm gone for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks, I bring it with me everywhere I go. All I do, I just change the batteries once every couple months or so. That is it. It fits into my pocket. I can bring it to a restaurant if I wanted to. It is the best investment you'll possibly make. Don't cheap out on it. Go to Walmart. Tomorrow's Black Friday, or tomorrow's Thanksgiving. The day after is going to be Black Friday. Go to Walmart, get a digital food scale, pay the $10, and you'll have it forever. At least this way, you know exactly how much and what is going into your body. And once again, knowledge is power. With this knowledge, and then also having the knowledge of how your weight is fluctuating based on the body, the scale, the number on the scale, using your body weight. Like those 2 things alone will take you very, very far on your weight loss journey. Like if you're trying to lose weight and you don't have a body weight scale or a digital food scale, you're just making it 10 times harder on yourself. So invest into these 2 things. Number 3, now that you're actually measuring your food on a digital food scale, you should probably know where to put the numbers, put all the data, right? So the third one is a calorie tracking app. Either MyFitnessPal, which is the one I've been using for over a decade now. Started tracking my food in 2014 when I was just a 14-year-old chubby guy trying to figure out how to lose weight. MyFitnessPal is the OG. I've been using it for a decade. I have all my clients use it. We actually integrate this into our custom fitness app so that we can actually see exactly how much and what our clients are eating by them integrating the MyFitnessPal app. Very, very handy. You could also use Chronometer, which from what I've been told tends to be a bit more accurate, but again, they all do the same thing. Or Macro Factor. Those are just a couple of handfuls that you can try, but there are so many out there. Just use whatever works. This isn't about perfection. It's just about being aware. Now, you would not run a business without knowing your revenue and expenses. So why on earth would you run your body without knowing your calorie budget? Come on, especially if you're serious about this. And I assume if you're watching this video, you should be serious about your weight loss goals. Now, the 4th tool is a workout tracking app. We've touched about nutrition, your weight, but now let's actually touch on the workouts, the exercise portion. You need to be measuring your workouts, because if every single week you're doing different workouts, or you don't know how much weight you used last week, how do you know what you're going to be doing today or tomorrow or next week in order to keep making progress? Because Einstein once said, what did he say? You cannot expect different results doing the same thing over and over again. And this exact same principle applies to your workouts. If you're either guessing your workouts or you're just doing the same workouts in terms of the weights you're using, the reps, the sets, just everything, the volume, yet you're expecting to grow more muscle and see different results, you, my friend, are moronic. That is a sign of stupidity. Why would you expect that? You shouldn't. Why would you? No. You have to keep on increasing the demands on your body for it to adapt and grow to that newer stimulus. That means either adding more reps from last week, adding more weights from last week, adding more sets, improving your form, improving your technique, holding a slight pause at the bottom. There are so many different ways that we can progress, but it becomes increasingly more difficult to know if we're progressing, how to progress, what to progress, if we're not measuring our workouts and tracking our lifts. So you also don't need anything fancy here. The Notes app on your phone works perfectly. I used to use that for the longest time. All you have to just write down is the exercise you're doing, how many sets you did for that exercise, how many reps you did for that exercise, what the amount of weight you use for that exercise. And then additionally, you can also track your RPE, which is your rate of perceived exertion, basically your effort level, like how difficult was the effort. So once again, track your exercise, your sets, your reps, and the weight used, and your RPE. If you just keep track of these things, you can either use an app if you want, or just use the Notes app, or you can do it the old school method, which all the bodybuilders did back in the day, is a good old notepad, right? Just old school, bring this to the gym with you whenever you go to the gym and just write down literally everything just with a pen and paper. Whatever method you want to use, just make sure you do it, because this is how you ensure you're progressively overloading, which is the number one driver of muscle growth. If you're lifting the same weights for the same reps every single week, your body, once again, has no reason for it to change. Moving on to the fifth tool, a step tracker. These are becoming increasingly more popular, and for good reason. Whether it's an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, Oura Ring, a Garmin, your phone, it doesn't matter. Any of these work. I have a super cheap knockoff Fitbit version. It's like this Chinese one that I got in 2021. I started tracking my steps in 2021. Got it for like $50 of Amazon, and similar with the food scale, it has probably been one of the best investments I've ever made. It is cheap, it's affordable, especially nowadays. There's so many different ones out there. You can probably get one for like $10, especially with Black Friday going on. Like, this is your time. I actually am making this video at a perfect time because, like, literally with all the tools that I'm mentioning to you guys, you can just write all these tools down, go on Amazon on Friday, and just browse around for the best Black Friday deal. You're welcome. But yeah, Fitbit, step tracker, Apple Watch, whatever you want to use. Once again, this is the best investment that I've made. It's lasted me up until this day, 4 years later. I charge it once a month, maybe. It's waterproof. It keeps track of your sleep as well, which I don't really use it to track sleep, because I think sometimes people can get a bit too crazy with that, but you can use it for that. But I just use it to keep track of my daily steps. It also holds me accountable, because all throughout the day, I can see exactly what my step tracker is at. And I'm like, okay, right now I'm at 16,000 steps, and my goal is to get 20,000 steps. If I do some simple math, I need 4,000 more steps in order to hit my daily step count goal. And now, if I did not have this step tracker, I would have no idea how many steps I'd be at, right? And the reason why I like keeping track of it is because we can keep this variable constant. So I know exactly how many calories I'm consuming. I know exactly like all the other things, but if I also know exactly how many calories I'm burning through my step tracker, it just makes everything else so much easier, because you very well could be nailing your nutrition. But if your energy output fluctuates by a lot every single day, you could one day be in a calorie deficit, or in a calorie surplus, or a calorie maintenance, despite keeping your caloric intake the same, the calories that are coming in, because your calories coming out, your energy expenditure is just different day to day. Whereas if you can keep this constant by keeping a consistent step tracker and step count goal, it just makes all the variables a lot more consistent and a lot more even, right? So you don't need to know your daily energy outputs you need to know your daily energy output and not guess it. Because all of our clients who on average hit 8 to 12,000 steps a day lose fat without feeling hungry or tired, because walking boosts calorie burn without adding stress. And this is why I'm such a big fan of you increasing your daily step count, especially if you're fat and overweight and obese, especially if you're obese, because the amount of poundage that you place on your joints and connective tissues by you trying to run or do any other strenuous form of cardio, like it's going to beat you up. It's going to be very, very taxing, right? Whereas walking, anyone can do at any time. You don't need to be a pro athlete. You don't need to have any crazy genetics. Like anyone can walk, and we all do it every single day. And you can very easily integrate it into anyone's lifestyle. Even if you have a desk job, like one of my clients, he recently got a walking pad. Such a game changer. Such a game changer. Like if you can, go on Amazon Friday, order yourself a walking pad. If you work from home, if you work remotely, that is the easiest way to increase your daily step count. And you are literally getting paid to do cardio. That's the way I like to tell my clients to view it. Like if you're able to walk on a walking pad while working, while taking calls, while just being productive, I mean, oh my God, you are literally getting paid while being productive, while burning calories. It's like a win-win-win-win situation. Get yourself a walking pad if you can, of course. If not, just do it the old-fashioned way and walk outside. Do the chores, do the dishes, run errands, take the stairs instead of the elevator, park a bit further away. Just do something to increase your physical activity, and you will therefore increase your daily step count, and therefore burn hundreds of extra calories throughout the day and thousands throughout the week. Get yourself a step tracker. And additionally, if you have the money, get a walking pad. You can literally just get a walking pad and put it in your house, and then just make a rule to yourself that every time I want to watch Netflix or watch a show or listen to a podcast, I need to be walking on this walking pad. Gamify it for yourself. Make it fun. Make it exciting. One of my friends, he has like 3 walking pads in his house, and like every time I visit his house, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I just get reminded of like how amazing walking pads are. They're so convenient. Even if it's raining, I know nowadays like it's getting cold, it's winter time, it's probably snowing, whatever it may be. I hate the cold. I'm lucky. I live in Texas, so it tends to be somewhat still pretty warm, but it's going to get colder, and I hate the cold. And so if I have the opportunity to walk indoors, whether it's a treadmill or walking pad, you best believe I'm going to be using that because it's efficient, convenience, and I don't like the cold. Now, the last couple ones here, a water bottle. Now, this sounds really stupid until you actually use it, because most guys eat when they're hungry. Or no, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. This sounds stupid until you use it, because most guys eat when they're actually just dehydrated. I say this all the time, but we mistake hunger for dehydration all the time, especially first thing in the morning. And so if you simply just carry a water bottle with you everywhere you go, whenever you're running errands, whenever you're at work, even when you're sitting down on your desk, just having a water glass or a water bottle on you, you're subconsciously just going to start drinking more water because it's inside, it's in mind. But then also, if you drink a gallon of water per day, it solves your low energy, it solves your cravings, it solves your hunger, it solves your headaches, and it also solves poor performance. Like when you're at the gym, have a water bottle on you. Like you need a water bottle. Hydration is free fat loss. Because if you stay hydrated, you're not going to be wanting to feel the urge to snack as much or to eat your next meal as soon. So a rule that I follow for myself and then I give to all my clients is, okay, if you want to eat something, drink 2 glasses of water first and then go ahead and eat. But what you'll realize, what you'll notice by drinking that water is that, wait a minute, I'm not even that hungry anymore. I was just really dehydrated. Let me go back to work now. And so boom, right there. You just saved hundreds of calories right there by simply drinking water. And now if you don't like the taste of water, which I don't know what's wrong with you, but if you don't, like we live in an amazing world where, yes, we are bombarded by junk food everywhere we go, but we are also privileged to live in a world where there are 0-calorie alternatives to most things, which is amazing. Sugar-free gum, sugar-free syrup. Now, do I eat those things personally? No, because No particular reason, actually. But if you're currently, let's say, drinking actual Coke, the easiest swap you can start doing right away to save hundreds of extra calories is just substitute your sugary drink for a diet drink. Diet Coke is totally fine, especially if you're substituting it for a full sugar drink. Now, going back to the water situation, if you don't like drinking water, add water enhancers to your water, whether it's like a Mio squirt or like electrolytes, 0-calorie electrolytes, just 0-calorie water enhancers. This way, you can actually drink something tasty without the calories. Moving on to tool number 7, a meal prep container set. Your environment creates your results. If the food is prepared and waiting for you, like meal prep, if you do your meal prep and meal prep containers, you'll eat it, right? Because it's convenient, it's inside, and all you have to do is just microwave it and boom, there you go. Very convenient. And if not, you'll end up grabbing something convenient and high in calories. Grab yourself a meal prep container set. You can meal prep, you can batch cook, super, super convenient. Now the last one here, and this one I would say is optional, but a sleep tracking method. Even the simplest approach works here. So bedtime, wake time, hours slept. If your sleep is trash, your hunger hormones will spike by around 20 to 30%. Now, sleep is the silent fat loss multiplier. I recently just listened to a podcast with Matthew Walker on the Diary of a CEO, and I've been watching Matthew Walker stuff for years now, since like COVID 2020. But every time I listen to one of his videos or podcasts, I always get reminded of like how important sleep is and like how much we overlook sleep. Yet it is the easiest things that we could possibly do for ourselves, especially when it comes to fat loss. So if you can start dialing in your sleep, you don't need to be super meticulous by like tracking it, but at the very least, just going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, and roughly knowing how many hours you sleep is going to do wonders of good for you. Wonders of good. You're going to feel more energized, more rejuvenated, more recovered, and all these things are associated with better workouts, better decisions around food, more fat loss, more muscle growth, just everything. So definitely don't sleep on your sleep. Now let's move on to section number 3 because we just touched on like all the tools that are nice to have on your weight loss journey, but I want to make sure that we don't get too neurotic here, right? Because a lot of people can go too extreme and just start measuring everything, get all the tools that I just listed and just like be super crazy about it. But here's how to track without obsessing, because tracking is not about being perfect. Like I want to just put it out there. You do not have to be perfect. It's about being consistent enough to get clear enough data. That is it. So here are a couple of rules that I want you to follow. Rule number 1, track just 3 things daily. Don't overdo it. Just simply track, let's say your morning weights, body weight on the scale, your calories and protein, so you don't have to keep track of like all the macronutrients or the micronutrients. Just keep track of calories, because calories are king. They'll determine whether or not you're going to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain your weight. And then lastly, protein. Calories and protein. Protein is awesome, helps you build more muscle, keeps you satiated. If you hit these 2 numbers, you're going to be doing 80% of all the total work that you could be doing when it comes to actually tracking your food. And then lastly, keep track of your daily steps. Just those 3 things. That is your minimum effective dose. Rule number 2 is use weekly averages. Never judge a single day. Emotions lie. The data doesn't. So use weekly averages or even monthly averages as opposed to the day to day. Because like we discussed, daily fluctuations happen. Even with your calories, like don't get too bummed out if you went over calories on one day or if you went under or over. Like make up for it the next day. I tell my clients this all the time. Like if you stress over how many calories you ate on that specific day, don't. We want to make sure that over the week, yes, we are on track, but day to day, life happens. You're not always going to be perfect. Rule number 3, automate your routine. This is the easiest thing that no one does. Same breakfast every single day, same lunch every single day, same training split, same sleeping schedule. High performers repeat what works. And low performers wing it. They want variation. They want to do different things every single day. But the most successful people, not just in fitness, but in life in general, have a similar, repeatable routine. They go to bed at the same time. They wake up at the same time. They eat the same breakfast. They eat the same lunch, dinner could change, but most of their day is just very, very similar. It's a repeatable, predictable way to live your life. And especially if that day gives you success, success leaves clues. And so if you notice that you go through a day and it was super successful, you'd be an idiot. You'd be moronic to not replicate that day. Like if you just had an amazing day, high energy, crushed your workouts, crushed your meal prep, crushed your macros, hit your protein goals, take note of that. Literally write down from the start to the end of the day, like what my day looked like. And then based on that, guess what? This now is your formula for success. This is your SOP now. This is your standard operating procedure where, okay, if I just want to have another successful day, guess what I should be doing? I should probably replicate what I just did yesterday if in order to have a successful day, which means, yeah, probably wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, eat the same breakfast, eat the same lunch, have the same schedule if you can. Like, do that. All the successful people that I know have a really repeatable schedule. Rule number 4, review your metrics weekly. This is really important because a lot of people, they'll get excited, they'll measure things, but then they do nothing with that data. Like there's one thing having the data versus there's another thing actually using that data and actually making informed decisions, because knowledge is nothing without implementation. We live in a world where we are bombarded by information. Like if you guys are following me right now, like I'm going live on Facebook right now, I'm throwing you guys a ton of value. I'm on YouTube right now, giving you guys a ton of value. Like if you go through all of my videos, you should not be fat, period. Because I'm literally giving you guys the sauce every single day on how to lose fat, keep it off, the tools you need, the mindset you need, everything you need. You have all the knowledge you need in the world. So you do not need any more information. What you need is implementation, right? So make sure that with all the knowledge that you have accrued through watching my videos, that you actually do something with that. Because if not, it's just useless. What are you going to do with that knowledge? What's the point of being smart if you're not going to use that to your advantage, right? So review your metrics weekly. So on Sundays, look at your weekly average weight, look at your steps, look at your calories, look at your training performance, and then make adjustments. If you're happy with your progress, keep on going. If you're not, make some small little tweaks. Where did I go wrong? Where could I have gone better? Ask yourself these questions, analyze, and then make those changes accordingly. Just like a CEO reviews key data before making decisions, as they should, right? You do the same with your body. This is how you create predictable results and not wing things. So when I first started my fitness journey, I thought I was eating clean and training hard, but nothing changed. I stayed the same. I was skinny fat. Why? Because I wasn't measuring anything. I was winging it. I had no idea how many calories I was eating. I had no idea how many steps I was getting in. I had no idea how I was actually improving in the gym. No idea if I was in a deficit or in a surplus or at maintenance. I had no knowledge, nothing. Now, the moment I started tracking the basics, not obsessively, just consistently, everything started to change for me. I went from skinny fat to a bodybuilding stage lean physique. I went from half-assing workouts to progressively overloading. I went from guessing to knowing. This is the same system that my clients use today to lose 30 to 50 pounds while managing business, kids, and high-pressure careers. Tracking gave me clarity. Clarity gave me control. And control gave me results. So, if you want me and us to build you a custom fat loss plan based on your goals, your lifestyle, and your preferences, you can go ahead and schedule a free consultation call with me down below, where we'll essentially go over your current goals to see exactly how much weight you're looking to lose, whether it's 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds. We've helped people lose all the way up to 100 pounds. We'll see exactly what's holding you back right now, whether it's the lack of structure, the lack of accountability, the lack of time, the lack of whatever your excuse is right now. We will create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals in the next 3 to 6 months. If that sounds good to you, the link will be in the description down below, and I'll see you all there. Peace.